All right, as President Biden's world tour on this world stage winds up, so there's a lot of airing of the America's dirty laundry. Were you shocked by this? I was. We can air our negotiating power, but not just at home, but abroad. We have Democrats and many in the mainstream media to thank for all the ripping apart of America from the inside out. Take a listen to Vladimir Putin's latest exploitation of America's internal divisions.
And an entire movement developed known as Black Lives Matter. I'm not going to comment on that, but here's what I do want to say. What we saw was disorder, destruction, violations of the law, etc. We feel sympathy for the United States of America, but we don't want that to happen on our territory. And we're doing our utmost in order to not allow it to happen.
So he is assessing what's happening in our streets, especially last summer and spring, and saying that's pretty much why we have jailed Navalny and we kill our opponents. Joining me now, Republican Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina. Senator, were you surprised that our domestic issues are causing us problems overseas?
I am not, actually. One of the things I've always thought about Russia, and frankly, too many folks here at home, stoking the embers of chaos and division is one of the ways that they gain power or they deflect. Russia is, in fact, deflecting and causing more vitriol and dysfunction here at home. We should have a firewall between Russia and the debate and the disagreements on the left or the right of this country. But instead, what we're having is a conflating of issues that I think is very dangerous for the American public, very dangerous for our country.
We always thought ourselves, by the people, for the people. We're a democracy. We're very proud of that. We have our fights in public, but we always get better. But now it's hurting our foreign policy. We don't look as though we belong at the head spot on the world stage. And our enemies are taking advantage of that. How do we have this dialogue and not lose our international prestige?
Well, the very first thing you have to do is recognize the fact that the vast majority of Americans are working hard, trying to make our country a better place to live. And frankly, it's one of the reasons why I said in my rebuttal that America is not a racist country. The fact of the matter is that you can measure progress over the last 50 years and come to the conclusion that there is perhaps no better place on earth for progress to be identified and measured than it is in the United States of America. But instead, when we fan the flames of division at home, it only allows for more oxygen to be brought in by Russia and China and many other bad international actors that want to take advantage of our distraction from global leadership and poison us here at home. And literally, I believe that the Russians, the Chinese, and many of our adversaries are really fanning the flames and stoking the embers to keep us distracted from A, progress, and B, those other countries.
Senator, in the time we have remaining, I want to bring you to bipartisanship in a bicameral way. That's what's happening with infrastructure. They put together a deal. It's about $1 trillion. The details we do not know. But overall, there's at least 10 Republicans who will vote for what they're working on. Out of nowhere, we see Senator Schumer looking to put together reconciliation to pass infrastructure on a pure party line basis. This while the President of the United States says, I'm open to working with Republicans. Does it make you feel like you're wasting your time reaching across the aisle, working on police reform, if the rug's just going to be pulled out from you at the last minute?
Brian, it makes me nervous anytime I watch Chuck Schumer use his position of power to look for a workaround, a bipartisan solution. If that is the case, we have to be very careful. Police reform is incredibly important that we, A, not demonize officers, B, have a character-driven law enforcement agencies responding in the poorest and most important communities from a peace perspective in the country. If we have the right scenario, the right focus, we'll be okay. But if the Democrats decide that this is another political issue, we could be left at the table just holding hands.
It is. I think the country needs something on a bipartisan way. I thought this was on a path. It doesn't look like there's much sincerity there. Senator Tim Scott, thank you so much.
God bless.
All right.